Are we live?
We're live.
Up here. Okay. I don't know. It sent me a message that I'd never seen before. Hi, everybody.
I feel like it delays slightly, and then I'm just like gawking at the camera, like.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome. You guys, we're doing an extra live this week. You guys know that recently I have stopped doing my Thursday lives, but I did that in order to be able to do these special kinds of things every now and then. And I'm excited that my very first extra live is with Nealay, who's one of my favorite people in the whole world. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Nealay, for being here. I am super excited to get on with this because you've got a really cool mystery kit, and I'm all about it. This color palette is to die for. It's so pretty. So I can't wait to show it to everybody.
This is for sure, I think, the highlight of my month, because I've been looking forward to this for a while. And I love that we just spontaneously plan things and then we just do it. We get it done and we create some beautiful stuff out there. So
absolutely. Everybody's here. Nicole is here. Rosalinda is here. Nicole. How are you, my friend? It's like I see Nicole's name. Katie's here. Deb is here. I think, is Joan here yet? Peggy's here. I don't think Joan is here yet.
Somebody
nudge Joan.
Yeah, I know. We're poking you, Joan. Where are you?
Oh my gosh, Kathleen is here. Colleen is here. Everybody is in the house. You guys, I was kind of worried because I didn't know if you guys would remember or not. Joan is here. There she is. Of course.
Yay.
Can't have a show without Joan.
We cannot.
Let's see. So you guys, I know that you guys, a lot of you have met Nealay before. A lot of you are SilverSilk customers, but for those of you who aren't, or for those of you who maybe have forgotten how much you love your SilverSilk, right? Because I mean, things get moved out of your workspace, and then you remember, you're like, oh, because I always make something and I'm like, oh, SilverSilk would have been perfect with this. So if you're in one of those situations, or maybe you just need some beautifulness in your life, enter SilverSilk and enter Nealay.
Welcome to my world.
Nealay, tell those of us who maybe are not familiar with you, just give us a little rundown about yourself and your business.
Well, my name is Nealay Patel, and I'm the owner, designer, and educator for a company called SilverSilk and More. And this company produces essentially me. A knitted wire jewelry chain, kind of like the one I'm wearing. Actually, I'll take it off and give you a close-up. This is one of the colors. Oh, there we go. It's one of the colors called hematite, and it's a very tiny, intricate chain that is made by a machine that knits wire that's as thin as human hair into a sleeve. And then that sleeve has different fillings, or just left empty on some occasion. We'll see some examples in the kit, but this is called capture chain, and it just has a ball chain inside of that knitted sleeve. And then I've also got a couple other lines of chains. One of them's a flat mesh, which is basically a knitted sleeve then that's that goes through a second apparatus that flattens that mesh and turns it into a different style of chain altogether. And then there's burlesque chain, which has a 2 knitting layer process. The first is a rainbow holographic tinsel that's knitted around ball chain, and then knitted over both of those things is the wire. So you get this really multi-color effect, multi-textural effects. There's some sparkles in there too. So it's a great chain because you can string with it, you can sew onto it directly because of the open knits. You can cut it up and not have to worry about it fraying because it's made of wire. There's so many different usages for it, and you know, a great source for this would be my Instagram and or YouTube, and you could see all kinds of examples on there. And the handle for that is SilverSilk and More, but there's just a giant library of things that I've gotten to do, and that you, Sarah, I've gotten to work with you several times throughout my SilverSilk journey, and I think we just both come up with some extraordinary ideas and just bring more creativity to the plate. So I think I don't know, the way that we artistically work together and mesh together and just continue to work together, it's just such a blessing for me.
Me
And we get to
too.
connect with everybody here too, so.
Exactly. Me too. And I, for one, don't just love the company. This always turns into a love fest, and I just can't help myself. Not only
We
do
get a
I
little
love
mushy.
SilverSilk, but I really truly love you as a human being. And
Mhm.
when people meet you, there is a point to this other than just loving on you, because I just do. But I feel like when people get to know you a little bit and they get to see your personality and your design aesthetic and kind of find out who you are and how it is that you are running this company, it just makes the product even sweeter. And
Mhm.
that's really kind of what my goal is with having you here, because I could just as easily just have the kit and, and talk about it. But it is really important to me that people get to put a face with your company to understand that you are the one who's doing all of the work. You are literally the one running the machine. You're the one who is packing the orders. You are the one who is picking the color combinations, and then you're taking it to the people. And that, to me, is just kind of the embodiment of small business. And really, to me, you're a hero in that, in so many capacities, but definitely in that capacity, because I see you, excuse my French, people, but kicking ass and taking names. And it really inspires me, not just as a designer, but as a human being in general. And again, just makes that product, when it comes to my hands, even sweeter, because I realize, like, you've touched this from start to finish. And that really makes it a unique product. It's not just like something I just went and picked up at a box store. It's something that you put your heart and soul into.
Mhm.
And I want people to know that about you. So I hope that's what everybody gets, even further than just how amazing your product is. Putting a face with things just makes a huge difference. I think adding that human element makes a huge impact. So thank you again for being here and for sharing all of your creativity with us, guys. Nealay mentioned his social media accounts. Please make sure that you are following SilverSilk in all of those places. One in particular is Instagram. I know you and I are both kind of like, we are not the best at Instagram. We tend to forget.
Yep.
But I opened Instagram this morning, and there was one of you were like putting together a bangle with the hollow mesh. And I was just like, oh, I love that so much. So if you're looking for inspiration for your SilverSilk, you're going to have
I'm
to check all
laughing
the
because it took
boxes.
me like a whole afternoon to plan that video for 30 seconds or a minute, whatever it was. And I had
was
to
impactful.
like strategically, like, pick out the bangle and then make sure that I practice of putting this over and not fumble up. And it was like a whole ordeal behind the scenes.
It was perfect. It was perfect. That was the first thing that came up when I was having my coffee this morning, and I was like, oh, I have to make that. That's fabulous. So you worked it. It totally hit the spot.
I'm so glad. I'm glad that reel appeal. It seems to have gotten some good viewership there too. But yeah, I'm kind of carefully, like, I'm not on Instagram a whole lot, but the stuff that I post is, mostly just inspirational, and the reels are there designed to show what you can do with the product and combine it with some other products out there in the industry that work well with mine as well. So that cuff being one of them, which was awesome, how that worked out. And I actually got the idea from Joan, believe it or not. She did something a little different, and with her, rendition of it. And then, but that's the beauty about this community and about having our friends here, is that we get to learn from each other. I don't know everything. I mean, but I know good design, and I know how to make it easy to appeal to a wider audience that can, that are beginners to this, even. And just make it accessible. And so that's sort of my mission for the education portion of SilverSilk.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're definitely doing an amazing job at that. And you have a Facebook community, and you do tutorials. So you guys got to sign up for the tutorial. Like, you're doing the texting thing, right? You're doing.
I am. It's new because someone encouraged me to do it. And so, yeah, you can go to the website and there's a button, silversilkonline.com, and there's a button there that you can click and it'll give you a little form to fill out. It's just your name and number, and that's really all you need. And then I'm trying to be proactive about my tutorials and shooting out the information. Not everyone can make the tutorial. That's perfectly fine. You know, we all have different schedules, but the link is there to the tutorial if you want to watch it later, which I get mostly watches later on anyway, for those tutorials. And then they have the questions and stuff that pop up. So, but yeah, the texting is a great way to get the link. And then if you're more of an email person, there's forms for that too.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. Guys, make a note. It's silversilkonline.com. Don't forget the online part. I always tend to go and I'm just like silversilk.com. Nope. I forgot the online part.
I know someone else bought that site like years ago, and I'm just like, well, dang. But if you type in SilverSilk and more, like all spelled out, that'll redirect you to the website. So I bought both names.
Good for you.
I thought about it. I'm like, my company is SilverSilk and more. What if someone types it in as a web address? So I got it all sorted now.
Good thinking. So you, for a while, well, I don't want to say for a while. I don't know exactly how long you've been doing the mystery kits, but it feels like that's really gaining huge popularity. Like, I don't know. Every single one of them that I have seen is stunning. And I'm just sort of partial to that because I like for somebody else to do all of the color palette for me, like to put all of the inspiration together and then just give it to me. And then I make things with it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what these mystery kits are. So how would you explain your mystery kits and like, where are you getting your inspiration for these things?
Yeah, so I started doing the kits a couple of years ago, and I tried to do a monthly one, and that was bananas. And I don't have a graphic of bananas that's going to cover the screen, sadly. Many of you know that inside joke, though. So yeah, like I tried. Then I started doing like once every 2 months to 3 months, and so they're kind of sporadic and spread out now, but that just makes it easier for me to make sure that the quality is there. But I just have been growing the content that's in it over time, and I'm just like, more beads, more chain, more stuff, and try and make it economical for myself and the person to receive it. So the inspiration, though, it's been locations for a very long time now, and so I might have stuck with that theme. This one is Sunset in Tuscany. And I just got back from a trip to Sonoma. I got to see my beady friends out there for an evening of picnicking, and it was fabulous. And then the rest of the time it was just spent on touring wineries and vineyards and just like taking it all in. And so it's not quite Tuscany, but I kind of got a little flavor and inspiration of it from there. And, it's fall season, so we're thinking about fall colors. And so I'm just pulling these different colors and stuff together. But my background is in graphic design, as my day job goes. And so, for me to kind of put that into work and to help supplement that talent to SilverSilk and trying to brand things the way that I want to, it's been a useful way for me to, I guess, go about it and finding the right color palettes and stuff. But really, they're mostly just inspired by the season that, I'm trying to release it in. So I've got one cooking up that I was going to do during New Year's. And so what I'm doing now is just trying to get into a bigger workshop. So I'm like, I need more beads. So if USPS is going to be crazy again and I'm, outraged by it, I might end up buying more beads because that's what I did last time. I was angry at them for losing a package, I think, and so I complained to them. But then I was so angry that I went online and I shopped for beads for this kit, actually. So the one that we're using today. So I was like, I'm just gonna go bead shopping because it's my happy place.
Exactly. I think that's everybody's happy place.
And Joan's response is, we need to piss him off more.
Oh my gosh. Oh, all right. So I feel like we're like teasing people. We haven't
I
even shown
know.
it to them yet. So let's get down to it. And do you want me to go ahead and add your second camera now, or do you want me to?
Ooh, we could like take our faces off and put I don't know how that would work.
We're gonna take our faces off.
Or we could pan over to you, and then I can get started, and then I can we can talk about the materials and stuff in it, and then later we can switch over to my camera to see what I'm working on.
I have no idea what you just said, but okay.
We can add all the cameras. That'll make it. Maybe that, or I can actually hide it later too, I think.
Oh my goodness. No,
we'll figure it out.
I wanted as I'm going through this though, I want to know, like, I want you to be the voiceover for this beautifulness. Is basically what I was trying to get at.
Yes.
And just was terrible with the words. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my camera around.
The beautiful voiceover. I'll have to sound like really slow and seductive though.
All righty. Okay, so this is the color palette.
Welcome to Sunset in Tuscany.
Oh my gosh. This is fantastic.
I can't be serious with this.
No,
but you know, I was thinking like mustards, rustic colors, some yellows, jonquil, burgundy. And you know, that color palette was drawn from this photo that I found and is now on that card.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you include like the inspiration and the color palette, because that really kind of helps everybody kind of figure out like exactly where the jumping off point is. Because I don't know, sometimes when I just have the beads in front of me, I can be lost, and this really kind of ties everything together and kind of shows me not only like what I have in my hands, but what you were thinking. So I think the cards are much appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. And we all want to use beads in our own stash too. So it's like now you have kind of a designated palette that you can help to gather those things. And if nothing else, just make yourself another a pile or a hoard of something in that color palette just to look at and ooh and all over. I do that a lot.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure. All right, so the first two things I'm going to show you guys are the actual SilverSilk that's in the kit, because I feel like those are the two most important and the most beautiful things here. So Nealay, what do we got here?
Well, there are two different chains. You've got actually that's a pearlesque chain because it's got a a sleeve of dark brown rainbow hollow, what am I trying to say? Holographic tinsel that's been woven over a ball chain. And then there's a little like hint of glimmer and sparkle under there. And then over that is a color called brass wire that's been knitted over it. So not quite copper and not quite orange. It's kind of in that in-between stage.
Yeah. So since this is kind of in the in-between, I'm just going to throw this in there since you brought it up about it being that, because yesterday when I was playing around with this, I was able to make this work with antique brass, with antique copper, regular copper, and rose gold. So this is like all kinds of yummy, because it really does kind of go with so many. You could get away with using silver and gold with this as well, but I love that this really kind of lends itself to more than just antique brass or just copper. Like you can use any kind of combination, and that's kind of what I did when I was playing around. Like I picked this artistic wire that's not quite artistic brass. It's not really copper either. It was just, I don't know, I had a lot of fun mixing the metals in with this. So well done. Well done.
Thank you. Oh, I should also note that that pearlesque chain is not available in the store. I do this with the kits specifically, is I just make a run of a special color and I just include it in the set of kits that I have. And then after that, you're not going to see it again. Well, you might, but it might be years down the road.
Yeah.
But
well, this one's really, really beautiful. It really is gorgeous. And you can see that my camera is not the best, but you can see that
some sparkle in it.
Yeah, that sparkle that's in there is just so, so pretty. And then this one, this is the hollow mesh.
Yeah, that one's called Dark Rose, and what I've done is I've opened up the knitting, the sleeve on it essentially, and it's made a space, a gap inside of it that up to 4mm size beads can fit in pretty comfortably.
Yeah, it's definitely, you guys, it's open, so you don't have to do anything crazy to it to get it open. And you can use this as is, or you can fill it up. You can do so many things with the hollow mesh. The hollow mesh is one of my favorite. The capture chain used to be my #1 like love of all time, but I am so in love with the hollow mesh, like, because there are so many things you can do with it. It's really hard to choose. And sometimes I even want to like put my capture chain in the hollow mesh, and then I'm like, no, that's just way too much. I need to calm down. But
I've done that before, actually. It's a pretty neat effect. I encourage crazy.
Yeah. All right, so these are the two beautiful pieces of SilverSilk product that were in the mix, and then there was all kinds of goodies to go with this, you guys. So this amazing leather cord, which I immediately want to put in the hollow mesh.
Yeah, that was the
I'm guessing
intended
you
purpose.
don't have to, but you absolutely can. And I feel like maybe that's what you were thinking when you included it.
Yeah, I tried to make the kit materials a bit, I guess, not obvious maybe, but just, you know, things that can work together. And so I was gonna do that with my project too. So we're gonna both do some hollow meshing today. So I'm excited about that. Or unless you are gonna work with the other chain too, but
I am. But I did just want to show. But now I feel like I've taken away. I totally stole your filling up your mesh thunder. I should not do that.
No. You do you do what you want to do. Today's about freeform creativity. No boundaries. Oh yeah, there's a little leaf pendant that I found,
which is gorgeous.
And then some extra beads. I love that dark carnelian color. It's just a really fun.
I do too. So pretty.
Cool.
This is one of my all-time favorite fall colors. So pretty. And then a whole another bag of goodies, you guys. And there was a leaf strand. I played with mine, so mine is now tucked into the bag here, but
let's see if I can show them.
Strand.
Oh, yeah, this was also included. There we go. You got it.
So this color palette, this is absolutely gorgeous. This is like checking all of my boxes because coppers and greens and like carnelian orange those are my favorite things for fall. They really, really are. And you've added in this rose color with it with the hollow mesh, which I think was the perfect addition to this. So yeah, you nailed it. I love these.
Thank you. I was just thinking like sunset, wine, grapes, you know, all the romantic things.
And those have that sparkle. I don't think I've ever seen these. So pretty.
Oh, I'm crazy about those drops. Those are fun.
So in the kit, you also have included the end findings. So if you guys are curious about how to finish off your SilverSilk, there are a ton of different things that you can do to finish off your SilverSilk, but Nealay does offer all of the end findings for the goodness, words are hard for the SilverSilk.
I think our brains work that way too, where we're just like in creative mode and then we just kind of forget words. Like I do that all the time. But yeah, no, so I've got what you're holding up there is a single strand end caps, and then I've got which, by the way, those just have a single channel that crimp onto the either burlesque or capture chain. And I have others that have 2 channels, which are the double strand end caps. They're a little bit wider and have 2 channels that are inside of there that you crimp over, and then a triple strand as well, which look like this. So, and it's got my logo imprinted in it. And then I've also got flat mesh. I've got like so many different findings that work with. Oh, there you go. So that's double strand end cap. And then I've got mini terminators and longer terminators. Let's see if I can give you guys a close up of that. which are essentially the single strand end caps, but they don't have a loop at the end. So if you're wanting to just sort of tie out your piece and not have anything attached to it, then those would be the way to go.
Absolutely. I for the longest time, I didn't know, I wasn't really sure how to use those terminators. And I don't know, I was making it way more difficult than they actually are. They're exactly what you said they are, of course, because you made them. They are, they're just for the single strand, but they don't have the loop. So for instance, if you wanted to make a necklace where you had like SilverSilk dangles, you guys know I'm all about having dangly pieces in my work. You can finish off the end, and that's just going to keep it from having just that raw end, which you can do, and that's fine, right? You can leave it raw if you want to, but having that terminator is gonna really kind of clean up the piece and keep you from, you know, getting anything caught in your clothing or in your other pieces of jewelry or anything like that. So they're super, super cool. Yeah, and you've got them that come in all the colors that go with all of your, you've got like your main metal colors, right?
I've got 6 colors. There's silver, dark rhodium, copper, antique copper, gold, and antique gold. And then I've got them in 12 different types, I should say styles of findings within each color palette.
Awesome. So, okay, we've got a question here. Does SilverSilk tarnish or is it coated?
The wire is permanently enameled with the color. So whatever color you end up getting, it will have that longevity over time. I will say nothing is ever really tarnish like resistant, because even if wire sometimes advertise that, it still happens over time. We all have different skin oils. We all have different ways that we wear out our jewelry pieces and stuff over time. Some people go swimming with it and some people don't. Some people keep them out and some people storage it in a Ziploc bag. So my thing is that if you're really wanting to make the design last as long as possible, as humanly possible, good storage and, well, really just good storage is the key.
Yeah.
Well, and don't go swimming with it. I would not do that.
Right. All right, I'm gonna add your camera here to the stream. Your other camera. And how do I don't want to, let's see.
Oh, I think.
Uh-oh, no, wait. We totally lost what you just said.
Nope. I was just gonna say, you can kick me off and I can turn my phone, my camera, and my audio, my mic on this other device.
Okay, that works. That's what I'll do. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool.
There we go. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. I feel like I've hit all the different errors that we can do possibly on live videos. So you know what I mean? Like I just kind of have a pretty decent grasp on okay, this is going to affect this thing. So let's just do it the easy way. Oh, I like how we're dueling, you know, not really dueling, I guess, but we're just dual cameras.
So I just wanted to kind of play and first of all, I want to see you create, because that's one of my favorite things in the whole world to do. But I wanted us to kind of do this as a double kind of team effort here, because it's cool to see how much versatility there is in your mystery kits, right? There's so many things that you can come up with, so many different ideas. And I thought it would be cool if you and I did, you know, just a little something simple. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, just to kind of show what's possible.
Absolutely. And I've got a class actually for my Tuesday Toots coming up next week where I'll be exploring even more designs with the kit. So this is really my first dive into this. So I'm pretty excited about it. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just kind of I thought what I could do is I could take this leather cord, and the beads in the kit, these have a pretty largish hole.
Right.
So what I was thinking is that I could either turn this into a short necklace And I would draw this chain down with a draw plate. Do you have one of these?
I don't, but I want one so badly. And I'm dying to see this. So this is super cool.
I need to order you one of these. These are really, really handy to have. And it's just an acrylic plastic one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Whatever. But yeah, I love having that and I like having it plastic for this particular type of chain too, so it doesn't damage it or anything. And then I was gonna string this on, and I'm wondering if I could like do something wire related
Yeah.
with trying to attach this thing to this. Oh wait, I guess I have to put it on camera. I don't know, maybe like something like that, and then I could have some other baubles or something.
Yes, yes.
That's kind of pretty. I like how simplistic that can be, and then I can add in some like leaves and I don't know, droppies or something within the wire form that I'll make. So I'm making this up as I go along. if you haven't figured that one out.
Well, okay, full transparency. I'm not making mine up as I go. I kind of played around last night a little bit ahead of time, but I took some inspiration from some designs that you have done in the past because I thought, this is a really cool way. Like you always have the coolest ideas. And so I wanted to make sure that this idea gets shown where you take like a short piece of the capture chain and you use a double terminator to make a loop and then just kind of build from there to either like make a pendant or an earring. It's one of my favorite looks for the capture chain. So
I do love the double strand. Like you could do that to anything, right? And then you could either make that for your clasp, or you can make that for your earring.
Ooh, yeah,
make that for a bail. Like that little technique there that you just did is so versatile for just about anything.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I would never think to do it for a clasp. See, this is why we hang out. I love the way your brain works.
Yeah, I'd love that for a clasp. I don't think I've actually done it yet, but I think it would make an excellent topic for a future tutorial. I think some of my silkies have, though. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look.
So I just made mine pretty small, but you could do a really large like loop of the SilverSilk with this. But I wanted to add more beads and stuff like to length. So I made mine kind of short. But I did want to mention, guys, when I closed my double end cap here, I used my nylon jaw pliers just because I don't want to scratch up that beautiful metal surface on these, and I definitely don't want to mess up that little SilverSilk emblem logo that's on there. Nealay, do you dip your pliers, don't you?
Yeah.
What do you?
Let me grab what I use, and I can show you. Let me see here. That and so. If you can get your hands on some pliers that look like this, whether it's from Weber's or Beadalon or whoever can make it. I grabbed mine from Weber's, and they're wide nose, so that they've got like a 9. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. This is about 6 millimeters in width, and then the jaw itself is about, probably about an inch. And then I use this stuff called Tool Magic that I just dip it in, and then you let it set and dry for 24 hours. I do 2 coats, so let it dry between 24 hours and then do your second coat. And then I just use that for, actually I could do it now because I got my chain all sorted out on here, and I've got my single bead on here too. The other thing I need to do, I think this will fit in here. It's just I need to make this a little wider. So what I do is I just grab this one's a tapered Zuron plier, but it's got a very narrow tip, and I just make the end cap bigger, or the mouth of it, and then I can just basically shove all this stuff in and then crimp it. So yeah, these findings don't have to work exclusively on the capture or burlesque chains. I just used it here with the 2 millimeter, or is it 2.5 millimeter leather cord with the chain on top of it. So let's see. What are you doing? I want to know what you're doing. You got some wire wrapping.
I'm gonna do a little wire wrapping, of course, because that's just kind of the language that I speak. But
that is your love language.
It really is.
Oh, Joan is asking a question. Does silver silk tarnish? Oh, wait, I think we answered that. I'm a little behind.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right.
Let's see. Somebody says...
Oh, Marianne is saying, remember to condition the wire. So what that means is before I crimped it, is that, actually, I could do it to this. Sometimes whenever you trim the silver silk, it has these little remnant wire shards, essentially, little wire pieces. I think this one's got some. So what I do, and why I call it conditioning, is just you're getting it ready to be crimped. Some of these little wire pieces get in the way of crimping, so I like to remove them pretty methodically and thoroughly as I can with my pliers. And that way, these little things that stick out won't get in the way of crimping. And I think one of my ends was already cleaned there. But thank you, Marianne, for asking that really good, or making that point for me to say that.
Yeah.
I did a clasp, which I never, ever have on hand. But yeah, so I got my stuff attached up there. And, you know, clasp is one of those things that, like, I personally like lobster claws, but many folks here don't. So I kind of just leave that up to interpretation within the supplies. Oh, that's so cool. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. My second love language. No. Let's see. How would you explain that? Okay, so wire is my love language, and herringbone is like my favorite out of the wire thing.
Like
I don't know how to explain that, but yeah.
No, I think that's an amazing technique, and I think you used it a while ago on a silver silk tutorial for something.
Yeah, it's one of my absolute favorites. So I always, like, if I have the opportunity to use it, I do. And I feel bad because I'm like, gosh, I'm going to show herringbone again, and my audience has already seen it a million times, but I just can't help myself because it's so fun.
My silkies haven't seen it yet, actually. So, and I think a good bit of them are tuned in.
Well, this is one of my favorites, and I can do it again to kind of walk everybody through it. And it's just a fun little, you don't even have to do it with a bunch of beads. You can do it with just a single bead, but I thought it was cool to kind of bundle these beads together because that ceramic bead had a little bit of a larger hole. So I used one of the little carnelian beads to kind of make it so that the wire didn't slip inside there as I was working with it. But I'll do it again and walk everybody through it. So let me just trim off this one. I think that'll be really pretty on top of that little silver silk loop. Oh, all right. So basically for the herringbone that I just did, I like to use, you can use German style wire or artistic wire. I'm actually using artistic wire, which is a dead soft wire for this one. So it really doesn't make much of a difference at all. And you're going to want about 12 to 18 inches, just kind of depending on how much of the wrapping you want to do. But I'm going to go ahead and cut some of that. And you want to create just a wire wrapped loop on one end, but you want to make your wire wrapped loop have enough wraps to give yourself some space to do the herringbone. So instead of starting my wrapped loop like where I would normally start it, which would be like an inch down, I want to come down a little bit more. So give yourself 1.5 inches to 2 inches of a tail, and then give the wire a bend. And we're just going to come in with our round nose pliers just like we would for any wrapped loop. I'm going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers, rotate, and then take the wire over. And I'm going to do the wire wraps. But again, because I need that extra space for the herringbone, instead of doing just like 3 wire wraps, I'm going to do more like 8 wire wraps. So I'm basically giving myself about 1/4 of an inch of wire wrap. And what's cool is that even if your wire wraps are not super beautiful and they have spaces in between them or whatever, you can cover those up with the wraps later, so it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, Nealay, your piece is already amazing.
I don't know.
No, that's awesome. That is so cool.
Thank you. It's turning into something, so we'll see.
It's very organic and fall and just fabulous. I love that.
Thank you. What I'm going for is organic.
Well, you're definitely getting there. That is awesome. All right, so I want to repeat this on the other side. So I can't do my wire wrap right up against the beads. I have to give myself that room for those extra wire wraps. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. You can use a ruler and be official, but I always just kind of eyeball it. So just give the wire a bend. I'm just assuming that's going to be enough room, about the same for the wire wraps. So up and over. And then I'm just going to fill up that space with the wraps. All right, so for herringbone, for those of you who have never seen this before, you always want to go to the front with your wire. Okay, so the wire is twisting from the back around here to the front. You can see it's coming to the front of my beads where I am working. I'm going to take that wire and I want to guide it down the side of those beads, just kind of laying it right up against the beads. And then I'm going to the front of the wire wraps on the other side. I'm going to wire wrap around those and then back out to the front. Always to the front. Okay, and then guide the wire up the side of the beads, come to the front of the wire wraps, wrap around and back out to the front. And that's basically all there is to this. But as you're building up the herringbone, you want to go behind each wrap that you've made. So I know it sounds a little confusing, the front and then behind. So, but what I mean is when I'm going down the side of the beads again, I'm going behind that first wrap of wire. So I'm just laying it right behind, but then I'm still going to the front of the wire wraps here, wrap around and back out the front. So that wire is laying behind the first wire. Same thing over here. We're going behind the first wire to the front of the wire wraps, wrap around and back out. And you just want to repeat that as many times as you want to build up your herringbone, making that wire lay behind the previous wire, in front of the wire wraps and around. And that's how you build up your herringbone. I think a lot of people make it a lot harder than it actually is. But once you get the hang of it, then you do it to everything. That's why I'm obsessed with it, because it's so pretty and the results are really nice. It looks super complicated and it's not.
That's, I think, the general law of beading is that I feel like a lot of stuff it looks complicated, but it really isn't whenever you kind of get down to the...
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just repetition thereafter too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I always feel like I'm just a baby designer compared to you, because you're amazing. And particularly on the fly, you work really well, like just putting things together on the fly, whereas I'm just like all thumbs. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
See, this is why the nerve-wracking thing about tomorrow is because the
whole that's right,
bead-along thing that's happening, and I'm like, am I doing this?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, you guys, tomorrow is the Mojo event, right? And it's the Bead-along Design Challenge. It's a design on the fly, and you have no idea what the materials are going to be.
Correct. Yeah.
Until you get it and open it, and then you've got to make a design on the fly, and you're not really competing with the other designers so much as just having a good time. You gotta take the pressure off yourself. It's not so much a competition as just having a good time. So
see, that's just it though, because I think it is a slight competition in the fact that if your picture gets the most likes, then I think that person does become the reigning champion for that year. But you know what? I am there to have a good time, and I got a box of stuff that I can use and do things with. So like, I'd rather spend my Friday just, fooling around with.
Yeah.
And I think there's some fun to be had.
So there's a question here. Let's see. Peggy just Peggy knows how to get my attention. She says, Patrick Mahomes, exclamation point. Okay, yeah, I got you, Peggy. I'm paying attention now. Question from Sadie Allen. Let's see. I'm going to scroll back up here. Sadie says, can you explain what a draw plate is used for? So she actually asked me that question, but I'm going to let you be the one to answer that because I feel like you've got one in your hand. You can better explain it.
Yeah, so a draw plate is used for drawing down any sort of mesh. As you can see, then these are measured in millimeters. So it ranges from 10 millimeter all the way to 1.5 millimeter. So the idea here is that perhaps you've done some kumihimo with wire, or you've done the Viking knit weave, or something that is of hollow and wiry meshness. And what I've done is that I've just taken my leather and I've filled my hollow mesh with the leather, as I'll do here. And I can actually just do a small bracelet with this because there's enough materials in there to do a necklace and bracelet, I think. But once you get it filled in, like such, you can kind of press down. And the idea for a drawing thing down is that you want to start big and then work your way down the board. So
right.
I could start here at a 6, but that just seems a little bit too big. So I'm going to start at 5.5, let's say. And that just helps to kind of start to draw that wire. And I think your puppies agree. They get so excited about some of this bead stuff.
I know, right? So funny.
So as you can see, I'm just pulling it down as much as I can. I think this might have been the last one, which was the 4.5 for this size. But now my hollow mesh is basically adhered to the leather cord. And that's how I get this leather SilverSilk chain, essentially. So now I can, I could trim that. I could put some end caps on it and maybe do some baubles and stuff for the end here, or just a giant clasp, and it becomes a lovely little bracelet. That's
so awesome.
I love it. I love this stuff. It's so fun to work.
Yeah.
I think you can do a lot.
Let's see. Scroll back here. Question: what gauge wire am I using, and has Nealay ever made a SilverSilk tassel? So I'll answer the wire question first, and then I'll let you do the tassel question.
Oh, okay.
So as far as the wire that I was using some artistic wire, and let's see, I was using 24 gauge, and I'm not entirely sure of the exact color of this because it's not quite antique brass, but I got it in these packs. I love these packs, you guys. I get these artistic wire by the dozen packs, and it'll be like you can get them in different gauges. Mine was a 24 gauge. So that was the gauge that I was using for the herringbone. But when you buy them by the dozen, you can get all these really cool colors. So I just picked one that I thought went really well with what I was using. But honestly, I could have used like the maroon, that would have worked, or even the orange would have worked. And the gold would have worked too. That's why I love this capture chain. I know I mentioned this before when we were talking about it, but there's so many different color combinations of metal that you can use with this capture chain. It kind of lends itself to everything, because like the clasps that you included are that rose gold, right? Or they
either that or copper.
Yeah, they're kind of copper.
Bright copper that looks rose gold.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And then the other question was, have you ever made a SilverSilk tassel? And I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you answer it because that was asked of you.
Yes, absolutely. And I was going to do a quick... So I went, while you were talking about the other question, I went and found this from my stash of things. So this
I love that.
Little tassel on a hoop earring, essentially, and it just wire wrapped up there. But yeah, so I used my own bead caps. These have the SilverSilk logo on it, also available in the store. And then you can just basically shove a few capture chains within the bead cap there, or it's not a bead cap, I'm sorry, it's more of a cord end. And yeah, you could use these little terminators there at the end to give yourself a nice little tassel.
I love that.
And I'm getting ready to do a video with Meredith Roddy from Beetalon, where she uses the Cone-tastic. So
yeah,
not her, I will be. I'll use it. And I know you've done this too, Sarah, but here I've done a bigger tassel. So I was going to show this on that video when we do.
Oh my gosh, that's fabulous.
I'll show you the entire piece when we flip the camera back around because it's a stunner.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, the Cone-tastic is one of my favorite things to use with the SilverSilk, because if you don't if you run out of the end caps, or if you don't want to use your end cap, or you're using it somewhere else in your piece, right? You can use the Cone-tastic to make a wire cone, and it's the perfect little fit for the end of your capture chains. I wish I had one of those pieces right here. Oh, I've got one. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, maybe I didn't use the Cone-tastic on this one. I don't know. Oh, I don't think I did. Darn. Well, I didn't use the Cone-tastic on this one, but I have in the past. But I do want to show this because it's so dusty. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's been sitting on top of my shelf. But just to give you guys another example of things you can do with your SilverSilk, or your capture chain in particular, just don't mind the dust. But I used 3 strands in a 3-strand design, and then I took some of it and just wrapped it around. So I used a different color to wrap around, and I made a lariat with all of these little beautiful doodads hanging, and then kind of a bead in the middle. That's one of my favorites. That's why it's on a bust, but dang, it needs to be dusted really bad. Now I feel bad. But you could,
classic.
where I just used regular cord ends here. And this was probably before I realized I could use the Cone-tastic. Instead of using this little cap right here, I could have used the Cone-tastic and made a cone, and I think it probably would have looked a little bit better. Maybe I need to redo this one. But that would have been a great place to put a cone for sure.
Yeah, I remember this design, and I think that YouTube video still exists somewhere.
Yeah.
In YouTube land. But I feel like you did some earrings maybe a while ago, from what I remember.
Yeah. I made some New Year's Eve earrings.
Yeah. We built quite the catalog, I think, over time.
I think so, yeah.
Hard to conjure up some of those designs that we did a while ago. My wire wrapping here is awful.
No, it is not.
I haven't even
so silly.
What I'm doing with this. Where am I going with this? I don't even know. It's one of those things that I'll probably just lay down on the board here and I'll go do it properly, but I kind of want to just see how things connect together.
Oh yeah, that's so pretty. Yeah. Yep. You're the king of dangles. That's why I love dangles so much. And part of the reason I'm so drawn to all of your designs, because though you and I approach design in kind of a different way, you always do the little extras. And those are my absolute favorite parts of jewelry ever, because that's where all of the movement happens. That's what really shows off all of the sparkle and the facets and the knit and the wire. And, it really just, gosh, that's amazing. No joke. You have to finish that and just send it to me so I can wear it.
Okay, I will.
That's gorgeous.
Let's see.
I feel so underdressed with my little earring here. I'm here's my earring.
Your earring is a perfect example of design on the fly with the kit.
Yeah.
It's something easy, and for me, this is why I'm not going to do well in the contest tomorrow, is because I just overthink things all the time.
No. That's what makes you so fabulous.
And then
I did a little bead here too. So if you wanted a really long shoulder duster, you could add the bead, but you could make it a pendant very easily. Because I know that's kind of a long earring, but you could put a jump ring here and put this bead here for a pendant on the rest of your capture chain, and that would be awesome. But yeah, I'm feeling I'm not worthy compared because your design is awesome.
I don't think so. I think it's a matter of we both did something kick-ass today. And I am not a
I'll take it. I'll take that. So Andrea says, what's the difference between Viking knit and SilverSilk? So Viking knit you actually do on a it's on a special tool and you hand do it, and it can be very, very frustrating. That's why SilverSilk is so amazing.
Yeah,
because I don't have to do it myself. Nealay does it for me.
And I think it's been kind of advertised in the past of like, you know, we knit, meaning me, I knit, and you create. And so you kind of take out that middle step of having to make your material.
Right.
Get straight to the fun stuff, which is picking out the beads that you're going to use and picking out what kind of design you want to make and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just, it's, and the knitting style is also different from the Viking knit weave too. The technology that is used for this particular knit makes it very easy and friendly to, you know, work with, cut, and chop up to your heart's content without worrying about it falling apart.
Right.
So I think I'm pretty much done with my design. I might add a few more baubles here and there, but I think I need to go back and tweak a couple things. But, you know, I did a design.
You did an amazing, you're like, I did a thing. Yes, you did a great thing. You did do a great thing. Let's see. And somebody mentioned in here that I should do mine as a, let's see, a mismatched earring. So I'm thinking like, I like that idea. I'm not going to have time to finish it. But I do want to just kind of lay it out like what it would be. So I would just put the loop on the top and then do the herringbone on the bottom. And then I could have a little set of mismatched earrings. Those would be awesome.
That would be really cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, I do too.
Our folks here.
All right. So I'm going to turn us around here.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Add to stream.
Can you hear me?
All right. Hold on.
I think I'm unmuted.
Okay. You are. You're good. So I hate to take yours off the picture though, because it's so pretty.
Aw, thank you.
I love that. So beautiful. It looks so good. Oh, I love it.
I like your herring, but well, I guess you'll have to hold yours up. There you go.
I'll put it on. Okay, I'm gonna take yours away just so now it's just us, and I'll put one on.
Here, I'll do this. I'll just wear mine.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And there are the earrings. Just simple fun. That's fabulous.
I don't know if it's gonna.
I need
more dangles. It's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I love it. Too cool. Oh, Nealay, you rock. It is always so much fun to have you here. Guys, if you guys want to grab your mystery kit, what have I done with my little card? My card is gone. I'm going to hold the card. It's just, Sunset and Testimony. I love that we're so real, you know?
It's like, we are who we are.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. You guys, it's silversilkonline.com. Don't forget to sign up for all of Nealay's social media and his text alerts so that you don't miss any of his tutorials, because today was just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. Like, Nealay is an amazing designer, and if you're not watching his tutorials, you're missing out on some great inspiration, and he makes it, you make it accessible to everybody. You make it so that we feel empowered to do the things that you're doing. And I love that about you. Not only are you an amazing creator, but you make me feel like I can do it too. And that speaks volumes. So thank you for doing that.
Yes,
and
well, it's a two-way thing. I think we both need encouragement and a little extra push, and just accept that we both do pretty good work in all capacities of our life, right? But that's the beauty. Again, that's why this community is just so awesome, is that everyone's so supportive. And, you know, it's nice to be able to just hop online and see some good vibes happening and get involved. And we feel empowered and just happy when we leave the social media platform. At least that's the environment that I think we're both trying to create for our respective groups and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I
know it's that time of the show where it's just like, ugh, why must we get on with real life?
You and I have more stuff coming up, so this is not the end by any means. True. We're already working on November? Is that what we have? We've got November going on, and we've got stuff coming up with our friend Sam. So you guys, you just get used to us all being together, because that's just the way things are now.
I think it's going to be a fun dynamic with Sam in the mix too, because I think we're just going to say stuff to make him blush like constantly, or that's just hide his face in embarrassment.
I love to make him as uncomfortable as possible.
Yes, you know what? That's going to be the goal, is just to make him uncomfortable as much as possible on camera.
Oh my gosh! Oh goodness!
We'll make sure he can't hide behind a mask either, so we'll just make sure that there's nobody in the room with him. Yep. That way we get a true expression.
I love it. I love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining for this extra live today. Don't forget to go over and share the love over on the SilverSilk page. Also, there is a live coming up here in just a second with Meredith Roddy on Beetalon. Don't forget to go over there as well. So much love to go around. And Nealay, thank you again for being here. It was always a blast. It's always so much fun. So thanks for being here. And everybody, I'll be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time with our Feel Good Friday show. We've got new kits, new maker mixes, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you again. So set your reminders for that. Yes. All right. I love you guys. I love you, Nealay.
I love you. I love Puppy. I love everyone that's watching out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And this has just been, again, a great highlight for the week, for the month. And I think anytime that I get to hang out with you, Sarah, it's just always just great energy and great vibes. And I'm glad that we get to share it with our friends out there.
Oh,
see? Yep. He agrees.
Bye, guys. We love you.